Hello everybody. So we've just finished our 30-day ice bath challenge and it was epic.
It was so good. We're still going, by the way.
Yes, we're not stopping. But we've had so many people over the last month reach out to us, asking us lots of different questions from just basic logistics on how we set it up, what we were using and that sort of stuff. And so we thought we'd just do a little bit of a training on everything we're doing, how it went, and share some of our transformations.
Absolutely. So we got the setup started. Stacey bought me a birthday present.
Chest freezer. Basic chest freezer.
413 litres this one is.
And we wish we could have gone bigger though.
It's on the medium side, this one. I'm 6'7", so me fitting in it sort of doesn't really work, but does.
Well, we can't really hop in together, which that might be fun sometimes.
You can get bigger ones, but they're a lot more expensive. This one works for us and it works perfectly.
Yes.
We filled it up with water and found out pretty quickly we had to buy some other little implements to sort of monitor the degrees, which would then kick in the freezer, so it just didn't freeze up as a whole big ice cube. You may have seen some of the ice cubes we did get.
Yeah, so we basically had to just scrape the sides. I say we, but he does all the hard stuff. I do nothing. Scrapes the side of it as it builds up around the side, and if we let it go a few days, it would just get so thick that it would be too hard to break. So that was the number one rule: make sure you go and check your ice daily.
Yes. And
break it up.
Yep, and you can buy a little vacuum that you hook up to your hose, and you can vacuum any dirt that you've left on your feet.
Yes.
I think changing the water once every 20 to 30 days is probably what we're going to be continuing to do.
As in a complete refill.
Because you don't want to be putting like pool chemicals and stuff in like that. I do put a little bit of magnesium salts in there. I don't think that has the effect of magnesium bath, but I think it helps with the water clarity.
So yeah, what Trent's talking about is a little sucker, which we got from Bunnings. And that basically just sucks the sediment off the bottom and the dirt off the bottom of it, so it keeps it relatively clean.
Yep.
And then an Inkbird temperature controller, which I got off eBay, and we had that set at 0. Took us a bit of playing around.
0.4 seems to be the sweet spot.
Yeah, so 0.4. So then what happens is, you explain it, you've read that stuff.
So about the 0.4 mark, it kicks the freezer in, and the freezer builds the ice up a little bit, enough for me to break it up. And because it always looks better having ice, and it feels better mentally having the ice on top.
So it's essentially cutting the power on and off to the freezer so that it'll cool up, stop working, and just so it tries to maintain that 0.4, which is what I found works.
So the freezer actually only runs maybe 1 hour a day, so it's not a great big cost. Yeah.
So to give you a bit of a backstory, and I'm sure you've all well and truly worked this out, I was very adverse to the cold and ice baths. I first heard about them like 6 years ago, and I was legit like, no way, fuck off, I'm not doing that. And I started running all these stories about couldn't be good for you, you're putting your body under so much stress, like no. And I just refused to really research and look into it because I hate the cold. Like I have memories growing up in Victoria, sitting around at lunchtime just in a coat and long pants and just still being freezing everywhere around. I was miserable. So there's a lot of emotional stories going in on there with my beliefs around the cold. Like to me, it only represents being miserable, being unhappy, being in pain, not feeling good. So I was just like not into them at all.
I'm a bit different. I travelled through Europe, and every country I went to, even if it was winter, I loved jumping in the water. Switzerland, Austria, everything. And I grew up on the coast, and I never had a wetsuit growing up surfing, even through winter. So I love the cold.
Yeah, so when I was first introduced to them by a good friend, Todd, who's an awesome person to follow too, he just kept at me, come on. I was like, oh no, like I juice fast, I do coffee enemas, I do all this good shit for my body. I do not need to do ice baths as well. But I really respected him, so I was like, all right, I'll give it a go. And I actually hated it. It was the worst experience of my life. I had couldn't breathe properly. I was like almost panicking, but I got out, and after like 20 seconds, my first try lasted like 20 seconds. And then the next time, Todd knew that I was really struggling. He really coached me through it. Like he pretty much held my hand. He was just like, you got this, and empowering me and whatever. And so I went in feeling supported, feeling safe, and I was able to, because of that, get out of my head, get out of the ego stories, get out of the things of saying, I can't. And I relaxed in, I surrendered, and I ended up doing 3.5 minutes when I had a second one. And so, but funnily enough, the next day I woke up really sore, and I'd run 10Ks the day before. But I'd woken up the next day feeling fine after the run. So then I did the ice bath. So then it allowed my ego to kick in and go, see, ice baths are just not for me. My body didn't, I was sore the next day. It obviously wasn't good for me. And who knows why I was sore. Maybe it brought the soreness out. That
10K run, maybe?
Yeah, but I didn't wake up sore the next day. It was only the ice bath that made it sore. So anyway, so I was just like, sorry, this is it for me. They're just not for me. I was very protecting my ego stir. I didn't want to, because I was scared of them. They were uncomfortable. I didn't like them. I didn't want to push through the resistance. So it was easy to just make up an excuse why I shouldn't. Then we went to an incredible event under the Ripple effect, the Ripple movement. And it was, really cool workshop about masculine and feminine and stuff like that. And I didn't want to do it, but I was like 100 people there.
This bath was a blow-up pool pretty much filled with ice. So there wasn't much water in there. You had to really push in to get in. And the ice, when it touches you, can burn a lot more than just getting in a water bath with a bit of ice.
Right?
So it's pretty full on. Yeah,
so that was the worst ever experience. I had a legit panic attack. I couldn't breathe. It was a whole 2 minutes. I had tears. I was crying. I felt unsafe. I felt scared. I had all this trauma coming up to the forefront. And I had this really, really loud voice in my head coming, and basically, you're going to fail this like you failed childbirth. I've shared this on my Instagram, but basically, and I remember just thinking, whoa, where the hell did that come from? This loud voice in my head. And that actually made me go, oh shit, this got out. I got through with Trent's help and support. But after that, I was like, okay, shit, there's something in these things because it's bringing up stuff. And then we did breath work for a good sort of 45 minutes after, and that completely transformed and rewired my brain to a completely new story around my birth experience. Total acceptance. Yeah. Well, not so much didn't accept, but I've had total acceptance of my birth story. I didn't feel that same shame or that I'd failed. But so after that, I was like, okay, oh my God, there's definitely something in these ice baths. This is huge. I had a massive breakthrough. Huge, you can't, it was incredible.
Yeah, it was.
And so literally the only reason I brought Trent an ice bath for his birthday is because I couldn't think of what else to get him. I was just like, shit, and he'd been saying that he wanted them, so I was like, all right, I'm just getting a freezer, can't think of anything else. But we just got into it so quickly, within a few days, I was already noticing these breakthroughs. I was having, all these limiting beliefs come up, and then I was able to, because I'm trained in what I do with the emotional evolution process, which I teach the women in my programs, I was just applying that to the stress and the limiting beliefs that were coming up, and I was able to really just sort of knock them over so quickly. And that's the one thing, Trent, and I've noticed over this last month, our motivation is just through the roof. Yeah, and downloads. I'm just getting downloads all day, every day about all these inspiring things that we want to do, what we want to create together, and it's
I'm coming home from work. I work as a builder, and I'm coming home from work just with all these ideas that have been popping in my head all day. Yeah. And it's just, when I say motivation, it's more than that. I'm motivated to do things, but it's I'm really passionate behind these things as well. It's just brought out the passion in me rather than just going through the motions at work. I'm still working, but coming up with these new ideas and new passions, hopefully.
So even if we didn't go into the physiological effects, which I'm about to now, what we have gained from a mindset motivation point of view is next level. I cannot recommend it highly enough. And maybe apply it to other things. When you put yourself under that situation of duress, it triggers that stress response. But this is where we hadn't had that battle with the ego, and we can either fight the ego all the way and it'd be a really uncomfortable experience, or we teach ourselves to surrender and let go and trust in the bigger picture, the bigger healing. And that's one thing that we've found as well. When we go into an ice bath, you're trusting that your body knows what it's doing. You're trusting that you're doing it in a controlled environment that is good for you. And so then you surrender very quickly. That fight and flight response kicks in quickly, which is what basically allows you to stay alive in the ice bath and keep those organs at that 37 degrees that we need in order to function. But then what happens is then you surrender and your body actually starts producing oxytocin. And that's the love hormone, the cuddle hormone they call it. That's what we produce through labor. That's what's produced, when you're in love with someone, and it makes us feel it cracks our heart open. We feel compassion for everyone. We want to give more. And it's just a really beautiful state. And we've definitely noticed that as well.
Absolutely.
I loved him beforehand, but man, I love him now. So it's just even just deepening that connection. So that's one thing we're really passionate about, sharing this tool with other couples, because when you're in that situation together and you're coaching each other through and you're holding space for each other and you're remembering, wow, I can rely on this guy. I can, I can trust him. And it's such a beautiful bonding exercise to do with a partner. So we invite couples to come over and we'll teach you through the process. It's so cool.
Absolutely. Stacey actually did one afternoon. She can look at your live blood analysis under the microscope, and she took my blood before a bath, an ice bath, and then pretty much directly after a bath, and the difference was pretty amazing. And one that sort of reflects one of the benefits that I've noticed physiologically. I've seemed to have lost a lot of weight or fat almost. People have actually said to me, geez, you're looking very lean. And I put it down to the 30-day ice bath because I haven't changed much else. I'm still taking supplements, but I was doing that before, and daily supplements. I'm on this regime that I'm on, but the only thing I've changed in the last 30 days is the 30-day ice bath, and I'm feeling pretty damn good physically from it.
And so this is because of thermogenesis. So obviously when you put your body into an ice cold water, the body has to maintain its that temperature of 37 degrees or you die, you get hypothermia and you die. So when you hop in the ice bath, first thing you notice is all the blood rushes from your extremities to those vital organs. And in doing that, it floods their organs with oxygen, with nutrition, and in the process it purges out toxicity and gases and stuff like that as well. So it's detoxing the body, it's healing the body, which is from a physiological point of view, like amazing physical health benefits. And so in doing that, the thermogenesis, so it's heating up the body, it starts to burn fat a lot more effectively. So, I mean, I didn't have any weight to lose going in, but I've definitely noticed I've just trimmed up a little bit here and there as well. So weight loss is obviously a pretty cool reason to be doing it as well if you're someone that's looking for help in that area.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the other thing it does is it conditions our stress response. So obviously you get in that ice bath water and your body intentionally and deliberately flies into a fight and flight response, which it needs to do in order to keep you alive.
And a lot of people who their first or even their second and third, they go through a hyperventilating, like, it's
and
cold.
That's what we coach you
it's
through.
Cold.
Though.
We coach you through that,
yeah.
And it's when you get in the ice bath, everyone will realise that once you get into your breath, and it's also a bit of a meditative state with the breath. Once you can get to a regulated breath, it becomes a lot easier. And I actually talk about a wall, and that wall can change minute by minute every day. Some days it's 30 seconds, some days it's a minute and a half. That it's a wall. Once you pass it, you're actually a bit more relaxed,
and you
can deal with it. That's the surrendering. That's what Stacey's talking about. So every day it changes, and I think that has a lot to do with what you've done during the day and what you've been going through with your mindset and things like that. So
how much your ego's playing up, because remember, your ego just wants to keep you stuck where you are because it's familiar and it's safe. When you go, right, I set a goal to do, because our goal wasn't just to do a 30-day ice bath. We both have other goals, relationship goals, business goals, financial goals, the goals that we have in general. And they've helped us move towards those. The ice has just been the tool because it brings up the stories, it shows us the limiting beliefs, and then we use our process to work through and change it and surrender to them. So it's just such an incredible tool for helping you to identify where your limiting beliefs are stopping you from actually living in alignment with what you're trying to create in your life. And so when you're in those ice baths on those days where it's hard, like when there's oh my God, the things that pop through your head are so vital because they're the stories that you're operating by on day to day. They're the things that are keeping you separate from what you want to achieve in life. So to really tune in and connect with those. And then when you get out, obviously we have a massive flood of endorphins. You're alive, your blood's pumping, you feel amazing, and you're in this high. And that's when you start to go, oh my God, that was freaking shit. I hated that, but I did it anyway. I feel awesome. And then you have this unwavering belief of, I can do anything. You feel really unlimited. And I think that's what...
You can have downloads for hours afterwards.
That's hours. It's reformulating your belief system to one of, I can do this. I can do anything. If I can do that, I can do anything. And it's pretty powerful.
It is very powerful. The mindset benefits for me have been amazing.
Yes.
Not just physically.
Yeah, it's been incredible. I would never ever in my life thought that I would be someone who was advocating for ice bath therapy. It was a hell no for me for a very long time. But yeah, it's been incredible the last 30 days. So we're definitely going to keep going daily.
We are.
And we've been thinking about offering a 30-day challenge. Obviously, it's only applicable to people who live on the Sunshine Coast, but you guys can follow along, obviously, and do it yourself from home. But we're going to offer a 30-day challenge. We're going to invite people in to come in of a morning or an afternoon and go through this process. Now, we're going to next level a little bit in that we're going to have, you'll have a health assessment with me. We'll look at your blood. We'll set your health goals. Obviously do get blood pressure and look at some, make sure there's no contraindications for doing the ice bath therapy, which, just to go over that for people who are interested, is, pregnancy is a no-no. If you're someone who's a higher risk category for stroke and heart attack because you're severely obese, you have really high blood pressure, high cholesterol.
You just need to get clearance from a doctor.
Yeah, it's the same that they tell you to do before you join a gym. You're in that higher risk category. And then they just say beware for diabetics as well, because they can't warm their body up as quickly and effectively. But that's why we use the infrared sauna straight after as well. It's a good way to bring you back safely and quickly.
Yeah, so 30-day challenge.
Yeah, so the 30-day challenge, we're going to do a group setting where we're basically going to go over this goal setting process, connect you with your goal, whether it be you want to lose weight, you want to drink less, you want to buy a new car. And then we coach you through how to use the ice bath therapy to identify any blocks, any limiting beliefs that will stop you from creating that. We will be doing journaling sessions and then group coaching for everyone who wants to take part. And then have a party at the end too. Celebration.
We'll set up a system and it's not a competition, but you can put your time up each time. You're competing against yourself. You don't have to beat your time every time, otherwise you'd be in there for hours. But if you can set goals, even just the goal being, I'll do it for 30 days.
That's a good goal.
That's a good goal.
But we'll help you identify and work through this ego stories as they pop up, because they're going to, and we want them to pop up, because that's what shows us where we're stuck in life. And then we give you the tools and the techniques through the group coaching to help you just turn it around. And doing it as a group, obviously, it offers that accountability and that sort of stuff. So we're really excited. So stay tuned, because we're going to share a lot of information on that in the next few days, probably. And one thing that I've decided I'm going to start a new 30-day challenge for myself as well. I'm going to continue ice. That's a non-negotiable part of my morning routine now, along with my juicing and my coffee enemas. But I've decided to set myself a challenge where I'm going to do actual breath work. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, every single day for 30 days. So what about you? You going to set a new challenge?
I'll join that challenge.
All right. So we'll keep you posted on that. But like I said, the fact when you set a challenge for yourself, and we've been keeping each other accountable.
I didn't know she was doing this, by the way. She just put me on the spot. But I'm in.
Okay.
I love my breath work.
So when you are accountable, when you've got someone holding space for you, keeping you accountable, like, it's incredible. Because we had days where we were both like, I can't be bothered today. Can't be bothered.
There's one day I remember I got like 20, 30 seconds in. I said, why am I doing this? This is shit.
That was an ego story playing out.
And I only did a minute. And I was still happy that I got to a minute because I pushed past it, got out. And then the next, I think it was 2 days later, I did 7 minutes. And that's the longest I've been in there. And it was really easy because I hit my wall early, and I was really relaxed and I was happy. I'm not recommending doing 7 minutes your first go, but
no. But we actually had a day where we didn't want to do it all. And it got to 7:30 at night, and we still hadn't done it. A normal day, I would have just not done it because, big deal. But because in the back of my mind was, you've set a 30-day challenge, you've been sharing this on Instagram. People are watching, like, you got to do this. So that was literally the only motivation I had for doing it, because I didn't want to wake up and feel like a dick in the morning for skipping a day.
I slept well that night.
So when you're accountable, when you're doing something with someone, you set yourself mini challenges, mini 30-day challenges, and there's no reason why, monthly, setting yourself tiny little goals. Like, if you think, think of where we could have been 30 days ago if we hadn't have set this. We just would have been where we were 30 days ago. But now we've got all these incredible new things of where we are. So challenges are cool. They're really, really awesome. And especially if you've got someone awesome to do them with.
Absolutely.
So guys, I hope that's answered a few questions. Please feel free to send us messages if you've got any questions at all. We'd love to have this stuff. Just excites us so much. And we love sharing, love helping people. We love sharing our growth. We just want everyone to be happy and in love like us. So,
and every single person that's already come and done an ice bath with us, pretty much every one of them's come back for at least 2 more.
I've never ever had anyone get out of it and go, I freaking hate you, Stacey. You're the worst ever. Don't ever make me do it. They're always like, oh my God, that was incredible. It is a rush. So, have a go.
Come and join us.